Start the invocation. I just wanted to wish Chaplain Edward Skiba happy birthday today as well. Today's his birthday.
Happy birthday.
So we have invocation by Chaplain Edward Skiba from the City of Stuart Police Department, and if you could lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance after.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Mr. Mayor, City Council members and staff, and most importantly, the citizens of Stuart, I thank you that we're allowed once more to bring the presence of God into these proceedings. I have a little thing to say beforehand. I heard a woman say that she was fed up with all the flags and all the 250th birthday stuff, and she didn't want to hear it anymore. I have been all over the world. I lived in Africa for 4 years. I've been to many European countries and South American countries. There's nothing like this place. This is it. Our Constitution is a piece of paper that the rest of the world cannot understand. They can't digest it, and they couldn't possibly live by it. We don't realize what we have here. I just wanted to bring that up as we celebrate this 250th birthday. Let's go before the Lord. Our God and our Father, great creator of the universe, you've rained down blessings on us that we just don't understand. You give us things that we don't deserve. Your grace and your mercy are on us all the time. We just don't know how to handle them. We don't know how to keep them and work with them. Instead, we turn and we get into sinful ways. But your word says, if my people who are called by my name will humble themselves and pray and seek my face and turn from their wicked ways, then will you hear from heaven, Lord, and you'll heal our land. We ask you to hear our cry now, Father. We ask you to hear for a healing in this land. You hear our plea for a healing in this land. Lord, we ask you to be present in these circumstances today, that the things that are being discussed here that are important to your people, that you bring them into your heart and make them important to you too. Father, we know you love us. We love you back. Be with us in these proceedings. In Jesus' precious name I pray. Amen. Would you please join me in the Pledge of Allegiance? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. Please be seated.
Next, we have an arts moment from Wilbert Simpson from the City of Stuart, and as a local artist as well.
No, I'm good. Appreciate it. How everybody doing?
Good.
All right. I also work for the city. My name is Wilbert Simpson. I work for the city. I'm actually, I guess, a local artist now that I work here. I'm from Broward area. I do a lot of art, ranges from murals to like graphic design work, all that kind of stuff. So, anyways, in honor of this America's birthday, I brought this piece, one of my favorite pieces. I consider myself a storyteller. So, I mean, I really do feel like anybody can make beautiful art, right? But it takes a person to really brings out the story within the art, right? So this is a piece that I've done. I don't have too many small pieces too, so.
Hold it up this way again, Mr. Simpson.
Oh, God, it's beautiful. Thank you.
So the story behind this piece, hopefully y'all can hear me. The story behind this piece is I went to a park one day and I felt like I could talk to anybody, right? So I was talking to these older vets, and they were telling me about their life and what they've been through, being in the Army and stuff like that, Marines and stuff. So it made me think about this piece. So on the darker side is the younger version of him. And on the white side, you see the older version of him. You see the gray hair and stuff like that. So Some gentlemen's like that, you know.
It happens.
See?
It's beautiful.
Okay. Also, so in his eyes, in the right eye, you can see him as a younger person planting the flag in the American soil. And as the older version of him, he's still holding the flag up, meaning don't forget who I am, don't forget what I've
Amen.
done. Right? So, and also you see his hands folded in prayer form. And the ring that he's married to, it says, "In God we trust."
Yes.
So just not don't forget that, you know. And that's this piece.
Thank you.
Like I said, I don't have too many smaller pieces, and I have some work up in the gallery down south right now. So this is another piece I've done, more on the jazz music area side. It's called Elegance. It's pretty much just capturing the person in a moment of enjoying the moment. We be too busy in our phones and, you know, everyday life that we don't enjoy the moment. So I felt like this was a piece that you were listening to jazz music, just enjoying the moment, capturing the moment. So.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
I also want to say that I think the things that you guys are having or doing in the city is wonderful. The murals that you're putting up are awesome. Hopefully you guys put up more, and the representation of your community is very important to young folks. So being able to see themselves, see positivity and growth and colors, just colors, you know, just brighten up people's day. So just keep at it and keep going, and thank you.
Thank you,
Thank
Mr.
you.
Simpson. Mr. Simpson, hold on.
Yeah, I was going to say, Wilbert, before you leave, we have a certificate of appreciation on behalf of the city.
Right. And they're gonna take a photo, so turn your artwork that way so that she can see it.
And he does have a huge display at a gallery in Pompano Beach until September, I think. Thank you. He learned all his artwork from Milton.
Oh, I thought you were gonna say he learned it from you. Way to go, Milton.
Next up, we have a proclamation for Parks and Recreation Month. Lee, if you could read that.
Whereas Parks and Recreation is an integral part of communities throughout this country, including the city of Stuart, Parks and Recreation promotes health and wellness, improving the physical and mental health of people who live near parks. It encourages physical activities by providing space for popular sports, hiking trails, fitness programs, and many other activities designed to promote active lifestyles. And whereas Parks and Recreation programming and education activities such as out-of-school time programming, youth sports, environmental education, and socialization are critical to childhood development. Parks and Recreation increases a community's economic prosperity through increased property values, expansion of the local tax base, increased tourism, the attraction and retention of businesses, and crime reduction. And whereas Parks and Recreation are fundamental to the environmental well-being of our community, parks and natural recreation areas improve water quality, protect groundwater, prevent flooding, improve the quality of the air we breathe, provide vegetative buffers to development, and produce habitat for wildlife. And whereas our parks and natural recreation areas ensure the ecological beauty of our community and provide a place for children and adults to connect with nature and recreate outdoors. Now therefore, I, Sean Reed, Mayor of the City of Stuart, do hereby proclaim July 2026 as Parks and Recreation Month.
Hi, good afternoon, Commissioners, City Manager, Community Services Director. Mike Redstone, Division Manager for the Recreation Division for the City of Stuart. We want to thank you for recognizing National Parks and Recreation Month for the month of July. We do have a short presentation for you here shortly, but before we do that, I wanted to recognize the staff that make good things happen every day for the city of Stuart. I'd like for the staff to stand up, the recreation staff, and let's give them a big round of applause for their effort. Very good. And I'd next like to introduce Jessica Tharp, who's our Assistant Recreation Division Manager, and she'll take you through the presentation today. Thank you.
Good evening, Mayor, Commissioners, and City Manager. On behalf of the Recreation Division, thank you for the opportunity to recognize National Park and Recreation Month and celebrate the impact Parks and Recreation has throughout the community. When people think of Parks and Recreation, they often think of playgrounds, ball fields, and special events. While those are certainly part of what we do, who we are goes much deeper. We are community builders. We create spaces where families gather, children grow, neighbors connect, and residents enjoy a higher quality of life. Every program, park, event, and facility exists to strengthen our community and help make Stuart a great place to live, work, and visit. Our division serves residents and visitors of all ages, abilities, and interests. Every day, we create opportunities for people to play, learn, connect, and stay active. Whether it's a toddler attending a preschool sports program, a teenager participating in teen events, a family enjoying one of our parks, or a senior attending a wellness class, our mission is to improve quality of life for everyone in our community. We are committed to creating welcoming programs and spaces that honor the history, culture, and traditions of all neighborhoods within our community. Throughout the year, our team provides youth programs, teen programs, senior activities, wellness initiatives, and community events that encourage connection, learning, and active lifestyles. These programs help strengthen families, foster community pride, and create memorable experiences for residents and visitors alike. Our sports and fitness programs do much more than provide recreation opportunities. They help develop teamwork, leadership, confidence, healthy lifestyles, and meaningful community connections. This year, our recreation facilities hosted more than 70 athletic programs, leagues, and community activities serving hundreds of residents and families throughout the city. Our recreation facilities are among the community's most heavily used public assets. They provide places for learning, wellness, social interaction, athletics, and community celebrations. Our facilities are essential assets that support recreation, wellness, social connection, and economic activity every day. And fun fact, our turf and grounds crew maintain more than 34 parks located in the city of Stuart. Parks and recreation are about more than programs and facilities. We're about people, relationships, and quality of life. Through partnerships, community events, and inclusive programming, we remain committed to creating spaces where every resident feels welcome, connected, and supported. We also provide support to other city departments. Looking ahead, we continue to improve our park facilities and programs. We remain dedicated to enhancing the recreational experiences that make our community strong, healthier, and more vibrant while serving the young and the young at heart. Highlighting a few of those improvements, both Oleander Park and Memorial Park Amphitheater had an upgrade, and we've been working with the county and DEP to become a Florida Trail Town. We are anticipating the designation later this fall, and at that time, staff will provide a presentation for the commission. So thank you to our mayor and commissioners for your continued support of our parks and recreation, and thank you to our staff, volunteers, and community members who help make these programs and spaces possible every day. Parks and recreation is more than programs and facilities. It's an investment in the health, vitality, and quality of our life of our community. Every day we create opportunities for people to connect, play, learn, and thrive. Together we make good things happen. Happy National Park and Recreation Month.
Thank you.
Mike and Jessica, on behalf of the city, we have a proclamation to present to you.
Team. Yeah, it's Milton.
It's a photo op time, Milton. You have to be in it.
Maybe they should introduce, that's okay. Quite a few of them have. Thanks. Thank you. Mr. Redstone.
Thanks, Mike.
We do have 2 service awards to present as well. They are not in attendance, but those departments will make sure they're handed to them. The first one is Joseph Calderon with 20 years of service from the police department. The next one we have is Karen Chambers Cuffey with 10 years of service from the Human Resource Department. And then moving on, we have Dogs in the Park video that Jim is going to present to us.
Actually, this is a Misty Girton production here.
Oh, Misty, sorry.
So I'm going to let Misty talk about this very fun and whimsical video.
Well, public education is a lot of fun, and sometimes you get to step out of your box and do something creative. And we had some education to do on our turf at the amphitheater, why it's not dog-friendly. So we decided we'd take a dog's perspective and take a stroll to the park. We borrowed a rescue dog and slapped a GoPro on its back, and we went to the park. We also went down to the Green Market and through downtown Stuart. And so you're going to meet Frankie. There is a fun little ending to this, is Frankie was, he was with All for One Pet Rescue. He's a Bahamian potcake. He came from Grand Bahama, and shortly after we produced the video, he ended up getting adopted by a person living in Santa Fe, New Mexico. So his foster mom here drove him all the way to Santa Fe. So let's introduce you to Frankie.
All right, Frankie.
The film will roll.
I'd heard of rumors, whispers on the wind, of a place too perfect to be real. They called it the Green. Soft, lush, untouched. And then I saw the sign. Every instinct I had said, go, roll, live your truth. But instincts don't make good citizens. Let me level with you. This grass, it's for humans. Things like concerts, picnics, blankets. And here's the thing, even when you pick up after me, you just can't get all of it. Tiny leftovers, the kind your ghost this is, but mine throws a full investigation of it. Now imagine a nice picnic and a not so nice surprise. Yeah, not the vibe. So I made a call, a tough one. I stay off the grass. There are plenty of places for paws like mine, places where rolling is encouraged, not investigated. Look, I want to go on that grass more than you know. But being a good dog means knowing where not to go. Respect the space. Keep it clean. Bleed the lawn for humans.
So there's Frankie.
We're gonna enter that into some kind of a,
I don't know, Jim keeps on saying we should.
It's an Addy Award winner if I ever saw one.
Today we're diving into common lawn care.
We actually have 3 other segments will be coming. One will be like going to the dog parks. Another one will be strolling along the boardwalk in downtown Stuart. And another one is our respected dog stations. So those are some series to come yet.
and
We'll
so
have to
that'll
have
be
a
on
new
the website.
spokesperson, but
My
That'll be on the
question too, would it be on the website?
link.
it'll be on the website and on our social media platforms.
Oh,
yes.
good, yeah.
All right.
All right. Thank
Thank
you. It was
you.
fabulous, Mitzi.
Thank you, Misty. Next up, we have the budget snapshot presentation.
Our new budget person.
Welcome,
Thank you.
Welcome.
welcome.
Okay, not as exciting as dogs in the park. It's a tough act to follow, but I'll
Right.
give it my best effort here. I'm Katie Ambrosini. I'm the new Financial Services Director, so we're going to do a little bit of our 26-27 budget snapshot today. So a quick overview of things that we're going to review. Of course, FY26 mid-year high-level overview, historical trends, initial millage calculations for 27, as well as budget planning and initial estimates, as well as a trim timeline and recommendations. So when we start off looking at FY26, looking at revenues, we have on the left side of the chart, the largest portion of our budget being ad valorem taxes. 52% of our funds received are from our taxes. The next biggest piece of that pie is going to be 12%, which is our utility tax. 7% of charges for service and 6% interest. I won't go into all the little pieces. I just wanted to highlight some of the larger pieces of the pie for everyone. On the right side of that chart, we're going to kind of look at how those numbers break down, so in comparison to their individual budget lines. So ad valorem, we received to date actually as of May, I apologize, this is as of May, $17.7 million of our $18.4 million expected budget, or about 96%. That budget does include our debt millage as well as delinquent taxes that we received as well. Utility taxes, we've received about $4 million of our $6.4 million budget, or about 63%. Licenses and permits, $980,000 of our $2.1 million budget, or about 66%. And charges for service, $2.3 million of the $3.7 million, or about 63%. So total year-to-date, as of May, we received $34 million of our $47.9 million budget, or about 71%. As I said, this is through May. May is 8 months of the year, so about 66%. So we're trending pretty on track for where we are in the year. Taking the next charts, looking at expenses, looking at very similarly by type through May. Biggest piece of the pie being salaries and benefits. So of that, 67%, which is a pretty big chunk, that's pretty standard in any kind of budgeting process, so I'm really happy with how that number looks. 15% being operating expenses, 10% non-operating, 5% capital, and 3% debt. Really good structure in how our expenses are outlined. Again, looking at the right piece of that chart, that salary and benefits, $22 million, or 69% of the $32 million budget. Operating, $4.8 million of our $9 million budget, or 54%. Capital at $1.6 million of our $1.5 million budget, so a little bit high on capital. Grants relatively small, $12,000 of our $74,000 budget, and non-operating expenses, $3.4 million of our $3.4 million budget, so about 99% on that as well. Again, total expensed, $32.8 million of our $47.9 million budget, or about 69%. So tracking really close on expenses as well through May. One other piece that I like to look at is kind of how those expenses break down by department. I think that's important to look at. Again, I'm going to highlight a few things on here. I know the colors are kind of small on my legend, but I think it's important to look at. So the two largest portions of that pie are police and fire, which are 27 and 26% of the budget respectively. So a good portion, about half, a little over half of what our budget is overall. Technology, 14%, and then transportation as well as parks and grounds maintenance at 5% each. So again, that total of $32.8 million. Before we look forward at FY27, I think it's important that we look at historical trends. I think that it's important to see where we've been in order to know kind of where we need to go. I didn't go back as far as I know you guys have seen historically in the past. I didn't go back to the early 2000s. I just highlighted the most recent years. But looking at that, the bar graph is going to be your taxable values in the city of Stuart, and the line graph integrated into that is going to be the millage rate. So in that, what you're going to see is the increase in taxable values while the millage rate is maintaining relatively stable. So the 2026 estimate, obviously, of what we expect we could potentially do for the upcoming year, and then that little bit of a dip in 25, but for the most part, remaining relatively stable. That's a testament to the commission's desire to remain fiscally responsible and not overtax. So I think it's important that we acknowledge that position as well. Considering ad valorem, again, looking back to 2016, seeing that natural increase, the one thing that I did want to point out, which I know you guys have seen historically, was that 2022 was the year that the assessed values as well as the ad valorem essentially balanced out back to 2008. So 2022 being the fourth bar graph from the right, from that point on to current 26, there's not really a large increase. So yes, we're going to increase naturally, values are going to increase, expenses are going to increase, but we're not seeing any kind of significant jumps in the taxes that we're receiving. 26 being an estimate, and then we will get into that calculation as well. Here's our calculation. I know you guys have seen this in the past. I thought it was important to keep some things the same and how you guys are viewing them. So that calculation as of July 1st, this is the first time that our assessed values has clipped over that $4 billion mark. So that I think was important to note. The calculation stays the same. So we're dividing that assessed value divided by 1,000, multiply it times the millage, which in this example I used 5 mils, and then we're using 95% of that for our budget purposes. So in that calculation, we have an ad valorem estimate of about $19.1 million. How does that look compared to where we were last year? So on the left side of this chart, if we're looking at last year, this year coming up, we have an ad valorem budgeted amount of $19.1 million, which is an additional $1.1 million of what you guys budgeted for 26. That total ad valorem for 26 was 18.8, but budgeted that 95% number was 17.9 million. So of that 1.1 million, it's about a 6% increase over the prior year. Of that, important to note, is the CRA would get approximately $3.3 million, which is an additional $323,000 from what they've seen in the past, which is about an 11% increase. So even though we're getting 6% increase in our total ad valorem, CRA is getting a little bit more piece of that pie, bringing our net ad valorem to just under $15.8 million, or about $870,000 of new money, what we would consider new money for budgeting for this year. Last year, we were about $14.9 million. Again, that CRA being an important part of the calculation, so I wanted to bring that out separately. Again, I know you guys have seen this in the past, and I wanted to keep that trend. So base value of about $299 million for our CRA. $995 million is the current value. $696 million is the new taxable value. And then keeping that trend the same. So the county also does provide ad valorem taxes for the CRA as well. I did use a conservative millage for them of 6 mils. They could go a little bit higher, I would assume, but I wanted to be conservative in my estimate. With that, the county would provide an additional roughly $3 million, bringing the total for the CRA at about $7.3 million, just under $7.3 million for the year. So budget planning for FY27, and saying all of that, and looking at where we were for 26, looking at the trends, knowing what our rates are, how do we budget for FY27, and where are we at in the process? So as of right now, this is just a snapshot. So we're at a super high level. Where are we at? So things we know thus far are union contractual increases. Those obligations are set out there. So fire and rescue at 7%, or about $600,000, and police at 7.5%, or about $612,000. So those two combined, it's a $1.2 million increase. So those are things that we know. We have our taxable values for general fund, for CRA. Our departments have been working really hard to submit their initial budget requests. As part of that, there's 5 new positions, including 3 safety firefighters, as well as 2 water treatment trainees, and then the request to bring back 4 unfrozen positions from this year. Things we don't know yet. State revenue, we don't have it yet. It usually comes out mid-July, August, so we don't have that yet. Our health insurance increase, we don't have that yet. When this presentation was prepared, we didn't have it. We've gotten a better idea thus far, but it was projecting to be between 9 and 11.5%. We did trend just a little bit lower than that, but still a good estimate. We're pending review of the departmental requests, so everything that they are asking for, is it possible? Do we have to make cuts? And we don't know what our FRS rates are yet either, so I expect a little bit of a change in that, but not numbers that we have to date. So preliminary millage calculations of that $870,000 of new money, of new funds that we would receive, about that $1.2 million of it would go to union increases. So before we even consider anything new, it puts us just shy out of balance of about $350,000 just in figuring out what our new money is. So the new tax money isn't even enough to cover the increases that we know we have for our unions, let alone any new increases for any additional projects or things that we want to take on. So where do we go from here? So big picture, revenues, general fund only, again, at the time this presentation was done, we were about $49.5 million of revenue. Expenses, we were about $54.3 million. So we were definitely out of balance, $4.8 million. Obviously, some of that being salaries, but then we have non-union increases, insurance increases, as well as capital improvements and projects that we want to plan throughout the city. So the next steps that we'll take in the finance department is review those departmental requests, work with the city manager to see what things we want to do, what we can do, what makes sense, identify potential sources for additional funding, such as grants, as well as evaluate needs versus wants and what makes sense for the city. So our trim timeline and what things are important. So the budget workshop, number one, we have scheduled for August 10th. The second budget workshop for August 24th, as well as the tentative millage and budget hearing for September 9th, and that final millage and budget hearing for September 14th. So considerations and recommendations for the commission is to allow for a maximum millage rate of 5 mills in that trim notification. That's not saying that's what we will use, but it's the maximum allowed for us to use if that's what we publish. We can go less, and the commission would have some time to decide what that would be. It's not a decision that has to be made today, but if we know that's what our maximum is, then that's what can get published on the notifications. Also, something important to consider is the maximum millage of Senate Bill 4F. So that's a new, in addition to all the other property tax legislation that's coming through potentially in November, this one went into effect immediately. What Senate Bill 4F says is that your current millage rate cannot be more than 110% of your rollback rate with 2/3 vote, so it cannot be more than that. So our rollback rate is 4.7081, bringing our maximum millage to 5.1789. So that 5 mills is not our max, but it's also not our bottom rollback rate. So it's kind of in between that sweet spot. That's a number that I feel that we can work with in the finance department. We can definitely fine tune our budget, and then it would give the commission some flexibility to determine what that final rate would be as we move forward into our budget workshop. Just for reference as a comparison, so at 4.9 mills, if we were to use that figure, it would bring our ad valorem to 18.7 million, which is a $554,000 increase. But again, remember, we have that $1.2 million union obligation, so that puts us out of balance even more just starting off. So I think 5 mills is that sweet spot of like the maximum that we would consider going. I don't know if the board or the commission has any questions or thoughts on those, the presentation in general.
Thank you for your presentation. It's very detailed, by the way.
Thank you.
Do any other commissioners, or before I move forward, I wanted to get a consensus from the board as well. Typically during presentations or D&D, we don't allow public comment. So I wanted to see how they felt, if anyone in the public wanted to do the comments, but I didn't know how the board felt up here. So I figured I'd ask.
I personally think that the members of the community who come here should be allowed to have public comment on anything we present. So I'm always an advocate for that.
Commissioner Ridge?
I would say this is very preliminary presentation on an incredibly complex issue, and that before we get a better handle on it, I'm not sure it'd be worthwhile to hear from the public at this point. Those who are so inclined are certainly welcome to reach out by email or to call us and speak to us, but until we see more of the details, I think it's best to move on at this point.
All right, Commissioner Clark?
Yeah, thank you so much, Katie. I think that she's done a good job, and I don't know, I mean, people may have comments, but it could be something that they would hear from you to work on to when you're working through the budget process. But, and maybe we could have a system where while you're going to be presenting the budget areas to us, that if people should be constantly sending emails or messages or notes so that, if there's something that you need to address or consider or work with city manager. But I guess for today, I don't know if people have comments or not, but if we could just limit it, because it's so preliminary and she probably doesn't have any additional information. Is this available for people to get a copy of it, or,
It's on the agenda.
No, I'm saying just for them to, they can get a copy from you, Mary, if they, yeah, so that's fine. If people have comments now, I don't have any objections to it, but I don't think it's gonna be like a budget hearing or anything.
Yeah, and I don't, and my comment wasn't necessarily to go back and forth with
Yeah.
finance and stuff. It was just questions that could be asked and then addressed later on.
Yeah.
But it doesn't seem like the board wants to do that. But Commissioner Rich, you had your light on?
No,
We're going to have dedicated budget workshops, correct, coming up?
Yeah, absolutely.
And how many of those are there?
We're going to have 2 at least.
So 2, people who have the ability to work through these complicated city budgets, that certainly would be the time to come and speak, be heard in depth about this budget. Obviously, there's some pretty significant challenges here for all of us. So I hope people do take advantage of those workshops that are just about the budget and nothing else.
Thank you. Commissioner Giovi, your light was on?
Yes, okay. So it's not a Q&A. We're not asking if the public can ask questions and expect answers. It's just to make a statement. And there's people who come here, take time out of their day. Many of them have their own businesses. They run their household budgets, and they might have absolutely good questions or ideas for the city. I think it's almost condescending to feel that it's just above the public to be able to ask a question in a preliminary budget presentation. I think they have the right to. I have to be honest. They have the right to come up and make a comment. I mean, after all, at the end of the day, when this budget is done, whose money is it that's going to be, it's their money.
I don't think
Thank you.
anybody's against it. What, you?
I supported it, the public, if they had questions, and they could be addressed during the budget workshop, just so it wasn't a surprise then, because then you're putting staff
That's
on
right.
the spot
Ask if they have
for a question to get answered, but it doesn't seem like it's
Just ask if
supported
people have questions.
by,
Well, I don't know. I
they
think,
weren't going to be addressed tonight.
Right, just let them ask them if
Yeah.
they have
So
I
so
think
the
that-
consensus is you would support
Yes.
if the public,
Yeah.
okay. Thank
Thank
you.
you.
Do any of the commissioners have any questions for the finance department?
no, and thank you.
Thank
You're
you. Were there any public comments on this presentation? Seeing none, there were no public comments. I just figured I would ask
Right.
for
And
permission.
I think it should be
It's my job.
eligible for everyone.
Moving on to, I guess if we have no comments then or questions, thank you for your presentation this evening. We appreciate you, and it was very detailed as well.
Thank you.
Just, excuse me, Mr. Mayor, may I ask a
Yeah,
question?
if you have a question.
Can you just say your name and spell your last name into the record for the public?
Sure. Kate Ambrosini, Ambrosini.
Ambrosini,
Ambrosini.
thank you.
Thank you again.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Comments by city commissioners. Commissioner Rich?
I have none, thank you.
Thank you. Commissioner Giovi?
Yes, first, as always, I want to thank everyone who does come out. You've worked all day, or you've been busy, and you come here to sit and listen to what happens in your city. I appreciate it. I wish more people would be able to attend. I also want to thank the City of Stuart residents, who as taxpayers make all of this possible. I want to mention the city employees, Stuart Main Street, Stuart Heritage Museum, all the individuals who made the Independence Day celebration a wonderful experience. We started out the day with the annual golf cart parade, which is lots of fun. Everyone spends time. I see lots of golf carts around town. I wish more people would join. It's a great fun, get together with friends, get together with your children, and create a cart, decorate it, and come down and go through the parade. It's really something great. I hope that we see more carts next year. And as we get to next year, I'm going to be asking more and more, and I might even pull people over in their carts and say, here's a ticket, call somebody and get into the parade. I also wanted to there were vendors at the park, a movie in the park, National Treasure, the entertainment at the Riverwalk, national recording artist, and Stuart's very own Raquel Renner, who brought on the fireworks with her beautiful voice, and of course our own Jim Krosky, who makes the fireworks happen each year. Thank you so much. Okay. I had one more.
Yep.
Okay, thank you. Each of the commissioners was provided with a printout from the city clerk this evening regarding the matter I'm about to discuss. Ruth Holmes, our environmental attorney, I believe Ruth is here. Hi, Ruth. brought this to my attention recently. In 2024, a petition by the Center for Biological Diversity and several other organizations and the City of Stuart co-signed a petition to the EPA requesting that the EPA formally adopt a cryotoxic standards for surface waters that would apply to Florida. The EPA has not, nor are they required to respond to these petitions. I would like to ask my fellow commissioners to agree to discuss and approve joining the Center for Biological Diversity in the repetitioning of this letter to the EPA. This might be something we can confirm tonight on the dais, or at the very least, can it be added as an agenda item for the next commission meeting on July 27th?
No problem. Are you making a motion or you're gonna, for one or the other?
Well, I didn't know, I guess I'd reach out to the city attorney. Can I make a motion on the dais to approve that letter?
Yeah, or I assume this is something we've done in the past, and you
Yes.
want to redo it, you could get consensus or do a motion, it's up to you.
Okay, then I'd like to make a motion this evening for the city of Stuart to be a co-signer in the 2026 petition spearheaded by the Center of Biological Diversity and other organizations, and if we could then be another co-sponsor again for this petition. It's actually be a repetition.
And then we'll come back to another meeting?
Well, we're making the motion now.
Yeah, I mean, when the actual
So
petition information.
So Lee was
I'll
saying you can
second it.
either give a consensus or do a motion.
No, I'm saying, if we second it, the paperwork that she's gonna prepare, will we
Yes,
see it, or that's it, we'll just,
Will we see the actual letter, the
Right.
body of the
Okay,
letter?
can I ask the environmental attorney to come up and speak on this
and I
subject? Thank you,
second it
Ruth.
for this, for discussion, so.
Hey, Ruth.
Thank you. So first of all, I want to say that in 2024, the city did sign on on a petition that was filed at the EPA, so a formal legal document asking for EPA to enforce its requirements that the state enter into rulemaking for cyanotoxins in surface waters in Florida. So it's kind of one of those wonky administrative filings that you have to do. A lot of environmental law is administrative law, not regular civil law that you normally hear about. The state of Florida, instead of adopting specific rules, surface water quality rules for cyanotoxins, they used what is called a proxy, and that was chlorophyll A. And my understanding is, I'm just a lawyer, I'm not a scientist, but chlorophyll A and cyanotoxins don't respond the same way in this type of environment. And so the Center for Biological Diversity believes, along with the other environmental organizations, believe that that's not a sufficient proxy. We need real standards. So what this letter would do, and it is a letter, it's not another petition. I just want to make that clear. A petition is a very formal, official, legal document that triggers or can trigger certain actions on behalf of the federal government or the state. It is not that. It is a letter to the EPA saying, hey, remember our petition from 2024? We still think it's really important that you look at the state of Florida's water quality standards and that you push them a little further to adopt the standards that we would like to see. So that's what it is. I'll be happy to come up at the next commission meeting and do a little more background on what the petition was and what these water quality standards are. Or if I can answer it today, I certainly could do that too.
Thank you, Ruth. Commissioner Rich, you have a question?
No, if she could just have the letter on the consent calendar for the next meeting, then
I'll do that.
it'll be on the agenda. If we have questions, we can ask you before the meeting. Otherwise, it should just go through.
Okay.
Okay.
Great.
So we have a motion from Commissioner Giobbe and seconded by Commissioner Clark regarding a letter to be signed on between the Center for Biological Diversity to be sent to the EPA. Are there any public comments on this motion? Seeing none, Mary, could you roll call?
Commissioner Rich?
Yes?
Commissioner Giobbe?
Yes.
Commissioner Clark?
Yes.
Mayor Reed?
Yes. Motion passes unanimously. Commission comments from Commissioner Clark.
Yes, I too was proud of I'm proud of the patriotic, all the different things that we did for July 4th, and especially at the courthouse gazebo, where the Daughters of American Revolution had their service there and a ceremony, and they also dedicated a plaque to the city of Stuart. I was a little bit disappointed that our commissioners weren't there. I wasn't sure, Mayor, if you knew about it, but they had come here and told us that they were going to be doing that, and they had asked, and I want to say that Mr. Leggett really worked hard with them, and the display of the flags and patriotic, I guess, signs or the displays are still there at the Memorial Park gazebo area on the east side of on the west side of Memorial Park. So it's a gazebo, the courthouse gazebo. But if we haven't had that yet, Misty, could you please make sure that we have pictures of that, and if the DAR has pictures, if we could capture that and keep it for the city and maybe capture some of those pictures. I know some people took pictures and videos, but it's a very, very nice plaque and a very, very nice tribute. And we just needed to probably have had some more representation. It was a tough weekend. A lot of people were out of town from our city, but I just want to thank the DAR for that. Second, I want to just thank the gentleman who did the arts moment. I know when we started the arts moment, at some point, Ross Johnson had brought up some ideas. We have some employees who did scrapbooking, who did other things, and it took us a little while to get some employees to get back involved with the arts moment. So I'm just so glad to have an employee participate, and if we know of any employees, please. We used to have someone, when Mighty Mike was here, we'd have someone from the rec department come and sing to us occasionally. But if you know someone, please, let's keep the arts moment alive and let's participate, especially if we are part of the city. I have something to say with regard to something that happened at the last meeting, Mr. Mayor, and I don't want you to think that it's a dig on you or anything, but I just want to make sure that it's to kind of clarify. So I've looked at other cities and communities that actually take their public comments, and not just the comments on particular development plans and so on, where we have to say, we've talked to somebody about a development, or we've received these emails and we know that they're captured through the clerk. But when they get public comments, some cities actually stand up and read these comments at the meetings. Some communities still do that. We don't really do that, but I noticed that the mayor did pick one comment at one of our recent meetings, and didn't specifically refer to the person, but referred to the contents of the comment. And we're all into free speech and everything, and I agree with your idea of trying to make sure that we get all the comments and all the emails in the same system like the county and so on. But I was just going to say, if we're going to do one, we either do all, or if we're going to do something specific that says all the comments on whatever it is, chickens, a park, whatever the situation is, we either read all of them, but not just pick one that may be particularly negative or positive towards certain things. That's just my thing on that. To just make sure that if we're going to do it, we either give equal time to everybody, or if there's something very specific that's going to be dealing with, then it's probably something that's actually on the agenda, and we'll say this is what we got, this comment, and we have several others, and the clerk already has the copies or whatever needs to happen. So that was just my comment on that. And then the other thing is, I've had residents who live close to pocket parks, and Milton knows all about this because he keeps them clean, and he follows the guidelines on the fine grants and making sure that these are accessible to the public, as well as they're just maintained. but people are saying that some of these pocket parks are not being maintained, especially those that lead to the waterway, and that they're actually not providing access to the waterway, or there may not be a bench or something there for people to enjoy the waterway. So people are asking me to look into it. I told them that we're in the process of doing an inventory of our park spaces and park locations and what they have to offer and what other vacant land, whether they be close to them or in other areas. So I just want to make sure that to let people know that we're addressing that. And I'll give the information to city manager, and he can talk to these residents and the area that they live in to make sure that we're following up, and he can also deal with that with Milton. Yesterday, I went to the Green Market on Sunday, and I was just really thrilled at the level of the quality of people who provide their wares at the Green Market, and how long some of them have been there at the Green Market, and we have new people, but it's really good quality, and whatever we need to do to make sure that that's well publicized and that people come down and take advantage of that Green Market on a Sunday. It is just a wonderful place to stroll and to be, and I just want to congratulate the Main Street Group for keeping that up, and we really appreciate all that they do. I know that something that's on the agenda is the boat race, and people also have talked about that, and I just think that every time we have to make a decision on the route and closing certain things, everybody has comments, but we've been a community that's so much a part of this and supporting this for a long time, and I hope that we'll continue to support that. But people have also asked me about that because some people just don't, they think it's just one more way to have traffic issues, but I hope that we'll be able to work through that whenever the boat race comes up. And that's it. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Commissioner Clark. I want to get a consensus from the City Commission then regarding an agenda item to getting our emails online then, so I wouldn't have to read them into the record.
You've been asking for it for a long time.
Been asking since I've been here.
And I think that it really
We should
needs
just
to happen.
work on it, yeah.
So, Commissioner Rich, how do you feel about it coming back as a agenda item to discuss having our emails online like Martin County has them?
If that's something you want to discuss as an agenda item, I certainly do not object.
Yeah.
Perfect. All right. So, Mike, you got direction on that, so I won't have to pick and choose. One thing I won't do while I'm sitting in this chair is I'm not going to apologize for reading inappropriate emails that I receive. I work hard for the public, and I don't take offense, by the way, Commissioner Clark. I have very thick skin sitting in this chair, and I think the public enjoys and appreciates my hard work on what I do. So thanks for looking out for me there. I also wanted to get a consensus from the board. I'd like to do another town hall next month on government education and have it at City Hall. I did my first one, I believe, back in January or February at the 10th Street Rec Center, and there was probably 20 people, 30 maybe, that came out in support on trying to learn government. So I wanted to make sure my fellow board members were okay with that. Commissioner Clark?
Yes, so next month is August,
Correct.
and Mary, September 17th is, when is City Week? When is City Government?
It's actually, I want to say October,
Oh.
first or second week in October.
Okay, so I'm thinking Constitution then is September. Okay, so, no, I was just thinking whatever you're doing would coincide with city government thing, but she says it's
We
October.
could do one in August, again in October, when it is government month.
Yeah,
Yeah. So do I have a consensus from the board?
no
I just-
problem.
I always like to ask for permission just to,
Oh, no.
I mean, I'm not familiar with the event. I think you're getting very close to Election Day. You would have to be very careful that it's not perceived as political.
yeah, that's
I
not
don't
what
know
do
if
at
it's
my
worth, it's, just delay it maybe by a couple weeks after the election to avoid that appearance.
Although Wouldn't it be the time to learn about government before you vote?
Yeah,
I think it
so,
would be very beneficial to everyone.
yeah, I don't really get into the political stuff when I do my town hall stuff. I did it at the first one. I'm a lot more professional at that, Commissioner Rich, but I appreciate your comments. And I can get with Jim. Jim helped me on the last one. It seems like Commissioner Clark has no issues, and Commissioner Giobi. So I'll get with Mike and Jim for next month, and we can come up with a date. I also wanted to thank Jim for the 4th of July fireworks show. We did get an email, and I tagged Jim in that. It's not an easy task doing that every year, so thank you for that, Jim. I appreciate it.
Well, we appreciate everyone, but you're the fireworks guy.
And as far as the road closure, it's not necessarily for the boat races, it's for a boat show. And we did give direction to the city manager. There's gonna be an agenda item coming back talking about a long-term lease, so you don't have to do this every year. And it'd probably help your vendors out and everybody that puts on the boat show. It should be here to stay. I think it's something that the residents, I know they might not always like the traffic and stuff, but it's been here for 53 years now. So I'd hate to see it go away like some other events that have happened in Martin County and the city of Stuart. Moving on to comments by the city manager.
Thank you, Mayor.
Commissioner Giobi had her light
I just
on.
wanted to address something that Commissioner Clark had said. And I believe you were out of town that week, so we're 4 commissioners. I wanted you to know that I had been in contact with DAR. We tried very hard to make them both work, everything that was happening. They had a hard stop. They had to do it at 10 o'clock. They couldn't wait, and so they understood, and they moved on, and we thought maybe at some other time we could get together with the DAR and do a photo op or something. But they weren't just left or ignored. I was in contact with them. They were aware that we just couldn't make it work on the calendar, so.
Yeah.
I know you were away that weekend, so I didn't know if you were
I
aware.
was there at the event. I was there at their event, yeah. But yeah, I just know that, and I know that city manager couldn't be there. It was just a
But
tough
if one
time.
commissioner's there, then you were
Yeah, I was there.
representing,
I
so
was
then
there.
that's good. You did a good job.
We were in the parade.
Yes, we were,
Yeah,
and
I hear that.
you
Yeah,
represented, so we covered all bases. There you go.
All right, comments by city manager.
Thank you, Mayor.
You're welcome.
Appreciate it. To parlay off of the environmental theme, working with the environmental attorney, we are engaging again with the Everglades Foundation, commemorating a 10-year anniversary coming up here in August of an announcement calling for the construction of a reservoir south of Lake Okeechobee. And I'll remind the commission, last year you voted in support, your resolution 51-2025, Rescue the River of Grass, the petition by the Friends of the Everglades. So this commission supported these efforts in the past. There is a commemoration this coming August, on the 7th of August, commemorating the 10th year anniversary of the 9 August event. And so we'll be engaging in that and may ask for participation from the commission on that. More to follow at the next meeting.
Yes.
But thanks to Ruth for bringing this to our attention. Thanks to the commission for supporting these efforts and letting the community know that this commission is in full support of all efforts to make sure that the river is being taken care of, and that our environmental attorney, our staff, and again, this commission is engaged on this effort, making sure everyone's aware of that. We have a TV star in our midst, Officer Andy Sudhoff, who is a German national, but a 20-year veteran of the Stuart Police Department, has been moonlighting, if you will, as a TV star, and will be featured this coming fall on German television. A version of their cops, I believe it's called Achtung Control, and I spent 3 years in Germany, so I can say words like that. But you know, so it will be aired this fall, and we will all be able to see via YouTube and other methods of getting video. So congratulations to our TV star and, again, a 20-year veteran of this police department, which is a fabulous police department. I too, well, I'm going to save this for last, so I'll go to, before I go to the last. Anthony Cooling, too. You've met Kate, and Anthony Cooling is also a member of the finance team, our budget director, new to the process, but working hand in hand with a dedicated veteran staff. Most are in this room. You got some new finance folks who aren't new to the finance world, new to Martin County, new to Stuart, just like myself, but well-seasoned and fully accomplished. Looking forward to it. Anthony's been working really hard since I've arrived, and I thank the departments for both their cooperation and education on how things are done here. I think we've got a great process in place. I think Kate showed you a little bit of what we're doing and how it's going to be done. And we'll come to a resolution here in a couple weeks. Looking for the commission's help on that, looking for the public's help on that, to your point, Mr. Mayor. We'll take all the help we can get to get to a balanced budget and making sure that we're resourcing this city properly and making sure the staff's taken care of and doing what needs to be done. That said, what needs to be done or what gets done, 4th of July, Jim Kralski and his team, outstanding work to commemorate the 250th anniversary of this country, to celebrate the 4th of July Stuart style, the way it's done here. It's spectacular. Doesn't come alone. You saw Jim's staff here today and getting recognized because of the time of year that it is, but each and every day they're doing that work, and they do it with the support of the rest of the team who are also in this room. So working together, and all of our departments are part of the process, but Jim gets to shoulder the burden on the 4th of July, and his staff, and Mike and Jessica supporting him and the rest of the team. So thank you, Jim. Thank you to the rest of the team. Thank you to the city. Thank you, Mayor. That concludes my comments.
Thanks, Mike. Moving on, can I get a motion for approval of the agenda?
Move approval of the agenda is published.
I'll second the motion.
We have a motion for approval of the agenda by Commissioner Clark, seconded by Commissioner Giobbe. Are there any public comments on this motion? Seeing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion passes unanimously. Comments from the public on non-agenda related items. Remember, it's 3 minutes. Mary?
First one is Bonnie Landry.
Welcome, Bonnie.
So for the record, my name is Bonnie Landry. I live at 336 Southwest Ridge Lane, and I have a business off of Albany Avenue. And I've been wanting to come for so many months to express my appreciation for the pocket parks. So I picked a very good meeting to talk about it. I also want to recognize it's political season, but I think parks is something everybody can agree is a good use of your taxpayer dollars. So the park that I go to on a daily basis is called Manatee Park, and I have some handouts for y'all.
Yeah.
And some of the things that Jessica says I'm going to repeat because I feel the same way. Many people, when they think of a park, they think of a boat ramp, playground equipment. But what is really important are your neighborhood parks.
Yes.
These little gems, they're just like set in a neighborhood that you can walk to. You don't need to get in your car. And the one that I go to every single day, literally, is Manatee Park. It was done via a grant. It has an environmental feature. I see nature every day. I've seen families of ducks. I even one time, believe it or not, saw a manatee in that canal. So it is an amazing place, and I just want to recognize the people who maintain them.
Yes.
Because I know at least once a week I see Milton's team out there mowing and trimming and emptying the trash because we have a little potty station for the dogs. It's really not a dog park, but we use it like that. I wanted to also recommend, if you're looking for a mascot, Luna Landry would love to be your spokesperson. She's an adorable yellow lab, and we go there every day, and she loves it. And, my family, we call it Luna's Park, but it really is Manatee Park. But, we're talking about taxes, we're talking about political, but again, whatever money as a taxpayer that I have to pay to maintain that park, I'm more than happy to pay because they do a good job. And I guess I just wanted to express my appreciation and tell you how that park has enriched my life. And nobody probably knows it's there other than people in the neighborhood. And the fact that I can walk there makes it a bonus. I don't need parking. That's all I have to say. Thank you.
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you, Bonnie.
Think about Luna.
And thank you, Luna.
Mr. Mayor, could you just ask her to clarify? She kept saying
Manatee.
Manatee
Yeah,
Park,
is it
but it's a
Manatee or
picture of Mangrove Park.
Mangrove, you're right.
Okay.
I was
kept saying,
Googling
"Where's
Manatee
Manatee
Park
Park?"
as well, by the way, and I knew there was one in Salerno.
It is, this is the correct name of the
Mangrove.
park.
Yeah, by the Popperton.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
I have Bob Warfort.
Welcome, Bob.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Welcome.
My name is Bob Wolford. I'm a member and coach for the Hellgate Sea Dragons, located in Shepherd's Park. We're a 501(c) team. And just a brief overview of what's going on, because I haven't had a chance to inform the commission as to what's been transpiring. We're growing fast. In the beginning of this year, the senior women team took a bronze medal in Lunar New Year dragon boat races in Florida. In March, the senior women again from Stuart here took another bronze medal in Inverness, Florida. So they're doing very well. In June, we had a mixed crew. We sent down the Lochahatchee River Race in Jonathan Dickinson Park, and we took first place. So the crew is doing very well in the park. Moving forward in August, we will have 10 women that are going to fly to France. We've been fundraising for a year and a half for this. They're going to compete with 4,500 breast cancer survivor women in France, in Aix-les-Bains. So we're looking forward to that. Non-race news information, we promote weekly opportunities for people to sign up, to join us at no cost. We express that in our Facebook page and our website as well. And it's been very successful. Every Saturday, we always have guests that come, and we take them out on the water. The club also hosted in June a Camp Wet for kids. Now, this camp is strictly for the Martin County School Board. They put that together. They came to us. We put this program on in Shepherd's Park. It's 35 kids. We took them out on the boat in different time periods. It's an environmental camp established by the Martin County school system. It was a great success. At this point, we have 3 members of our organization that's going to travel to Natal, Brazil this year in October. They're going to help with a community team down there, breast cancer survivors as well. They reached out for us as well as a team in Sarasota. We're going to get together and go down there and help them out and organize a team. In conclusion, we'd like to thank all the commissioners and the city officials that support HDSD and activities in Shepherd's Park. This is a small portion of the activity that's occurred this year. Without great support from the city and the commissioners, we wouldn't be as successful as we are. Thank you again. Any questions or comments?
Commissioner Clark, you had your light on?
Yes, thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you so much. I have been there. Thank you, thank you. I've been there and I've been out on the boat, and it's just wonderful. What I want to ask you, and I know that it depends on your lease term and other things that need to be worked on and renewed and so on, but we probably need to have regional competitions or something like that come to our Stuart area. So what are the prospects of that?
Very good. We've surveyed the city of Stuart, and my primary focus is to have it in the city of Stuart. We have 2 locations in the city of Stuart that we selected would be a good opportunity to put a regatta on, and one of them right now is under construction, which is the docks. That's a year out. Well, it's going to probably take us a year out to organize this. It's a lot of people involved, a lot of logistical work needs to be done. The other place is outside the city, which is the Stuart Causeway. That's outside the city. I'd rather not do it there. I'd rather do it in the city to enhance the businesses and also the community in the city to see what this is all about. But it's on the table. We are working it right now. Once the docks get completed, we're going to try to fit that in somehow. I've already spoke with the permits, the people that handle the permits in the city, and they're open arms. They're ready to go. We just got to get those docks out there completed.
They're working on it.
Yep.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Thank you, Bob.
Any other questions?
Thank you.
I wanted to say, you guys have been very efficient. I use Shepherd's Boat Ramp frequently, and you guys are very efficient with launching and retrieving. It's very smooth. So I just want to say thank you. And I can't wait for the docks to get fixed, too.
We're working on that.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thanks.
Derek Ogden.
Welcome.
Evening, Derek Ogden, Stuart resident. I want to start with where I left off last meeting for public comment. In May, this commission considered a charter amendment that would have let the voters of Stuart decide before Sailfish Ball Field could be sold or leased. Commissioner Reed brought it forward, Commissioner Giobi motioned for it, and it died, with Commissioner Clark and Commissioner Rich letting it die without even discussing it.
Point of order, Mr. Mayor. Point of order. In public comment, you are not allowed to refer to any commissioner specifically. And
You can just refer to the other commissioners.
Hang on, Commissioner Giobi. Let me address it. Lee, what's your opinion on reciting what Commissioner Rich had to say?
Code of Ordinances, Section 2-50, addressing the commission. The public comment period will not be used to air personal grievances between individuals, make political endorsements, or political campaign purposes. Speakers shall address all comments to the commissioners as a whole and not to individual commissioners. Discussions between speakers and members of the audience shall not be allowed.
Does Derek's statement reciting past agenda items and motions constitute to that level? Because he's reciting what was done in a prior meeting.
I would say if he's recalling a prior vote, you're not necessarily speaking to an individual commissioner or calling one out. You're saying what happened in a previous, but obviously we're kind of on the, in my opinion, we're kind of he's on the border.
Okay.
well,
so-
you
so
add in
that's-
the political element, I think he's crossed the
Hang
line
on,
there.
Commissioner Rich. With all due respect, we were on the cuff, I guess you could say. The last time an elected official from the dais said that they were door knocking as well. So how does that work then? I just want to I want to be very clear and be respectful towards public comment and the board members during point of order. And you're saying that it's borderline, so what direction do I go in as the chair then?
Well, a point of order was raised, so you have a
Correct.
decision to make. And if the
So I
rest
can
of the commission doesn't like your decision, you're seeking my input
Correct.
on it. In making your decision, you got to address the point of order that Commissioner Rich has raised after, I guess, my advice to you. And they have an option to do a motion to challenge your ruling, or they can just leave it as is. As far as, I addressed Commissioner Rich's comments in the past. He did not make a political endorsement or speak on behalf of political campaign purposes. He was just merely saying, while I was out campaigning, I've heard from residents on a particular issue. That was at issue. Here, you have a resident who is calling out specific commissioners, but it was a vote that they had done within the last meeting or two. So he's also recalling just a prior vote. So I just think if, again, the residents should be speaking to the board as a whole and not calling out and speaking directly to an individual commissioner. I don't think he's doing that. I think currently he's recalling a prior vote. If he's speaking to one commissioner, and I'm speaking to you, Commissioner Giobi, and I'm not pointing
Yeah,
out. And
you're just giving
that's not allowed under section 2-50.
So I don't, my opinion is, as the chair, I don't think it rises to that level, so I don't have an issue with it, but Commissioner Clark, your light was on. Give me 1 second.
Thanks. I'm sorry that this is going on during your comment,
Yep.
Mr. Ogden. But,
As long as I get my time. I'll-
yeah, Mr. Baggett, so you mentioned that Mr. Ogden is a resident, but he's actually an active candidate
We're
also.
not, all right.
We're not discussing politics.
I know,
so-
I hear that.
And
I
he
just
didn't
wanted
mention
to let him know that.
That's not, we can't be discussing.
Yeah, I
him
know,
as
I
a-
know that, but I just
Commissioner
wanted.
Giobi, your light was on?
Yes. Number one, he's doing public comment, and he did not mention.
That he wasn't, yeah.
Right, but you
Yeah.
did now. You brought it.
Yeah,
to
well,
the
it's okay,
which,
but I
you know,
just-
I think we have a lot going on here, and
Just let him continue.
in response to our city attorney, there was kind of on the fence when, at the last meeting, or 2 meetings ago when this has happened, this is on the fence. I think that the mayor has the right to move forward. Thank
Correct.
you.
So does that, are we moving forward, or is there going to be a motion from Commissioner Rich or someone up on this board regarding my stance on it? Seeing none, Mary, would he get his 3 minutes back then? Okay, and we'll start.
I
Okay.
have 2 minutes and 15 seconds.
Okay, let's go.
Okay,
Should I start over?
well,
Let's go forward.
We can
I
start.
guess you got 2 minutes and
At the
15
discretion of-
seconds.
Would you like it to start over?
I would like it to start over.
We will start
'cause
it
was
over.
disrupted, and,
Yeah.
yes. Go ahead.
So that motion for the amendment died, and I'll ask a simple question. If a commissioner doesn't want residents to hold the power to approve the sale or lease of their own parks, why would you keep that power on the dais? Why hold on to it if not to use it? The second reason I am here, when I raised this 2 weeks ago and named the commissioners involved, Commissioner Rich referenced a city ordinance that said commissioners could not be named in public comment. This is false.
Point of order.
I have a copy.
Point of order. He's now not talking about a vote that was cast.
I have
But
a
he's
copy.
talking about what was said. It says in the ordinance, they shall address the commission as a whole. This is why you can't open this door, because this is where it leads. That is not a recitation of the vote. That is now saying, this commissioner said that. I'm sorry, that's not allowed.
In a public meeting.
As the chair, Commissioner Rich, I don't have a problem.
Mr. Baggett, I would like you to describe how that in fact is different, that additional comment.
Again, the language before, he was describing a vote that occurred in the past. You're now kind of crossing the line into calling out an individual commissioner.
I'm addressing the board about something.
Well,
that happened.
I'm not supposed to engage, they're asking for my opinion, and I'm giving it. I just think we're treading, we're open, to be honest, a couple of speakers ago, we started engaging him. The same section says there is no discussion between the speakers during public comment. It would be more appropriate to have the speaker come back and do a presentation, but, we're violating this section multiple times in today's meeting, so this is our code of ordinances. We have it in there for a reason, so that we don't have name calling and fights during public comments with the residents. And if it's a slippery slope. We allow it to happen even a little bit, and we're kind of opening the floodgates. But again, this is, you guys are the commission. You can make exceptions, which you have. These are your rules, but you can overrule the rules on a temporary basis if you want to. But I think our predecessors put this rule in there for a purpose so that public comments turns out to a witch hunt or a political rally. Obviously, they're in there because it happened in the past, I assume, and they don't want it to continue to happen, or a bad situation happen. I think we should not allow the residents to speak directly to commissioners and calling them out on specific things. Again, when he first started, he was recalling a prior vote. I didn't see an issue, but we're going into a slippery slope. So I would say just to caution the speaker to not to name out specific names and just continue on with his comments.
All he has to say was a comment was made.
I don't have any issues as the chair, Commissioner Rich. I don't think it was an attack or anything towards you. He was just reciting on a prior meeting, but I don't have an issue as the chair. I mean, you can make a motion if you'd like, but
Then I will make a motion.
Can I, before you do that, Commissioner Rich, I'd sent an email in the past. I just want to make sure we follow the rules here. When a member thinks that the rules of the board are being violated, he or she can make a point of order and raise a question of order, which is what Commissioner Rich did, thereby calling upon the chair, the mayor, for a ruling. The mayor makes a ruling, not the city attorney. I'm not making a ruling. He's just asking for my advice here. I'm not the judge. I am just legal advice up here. The chair runs and presides over this meeting. So therefore, the chair for a ruling and enforcement of the regular rules. And he made a decision. The chair can obviously raise it as well on his own accord. It takes precedent over any other pending question of which it may arise. The point of order can be raised up until the point in time when the chair states the question and the board begins the discussion and debate. No vote is taken unless the chair is in doubt of his or her ruling and is appealed by a motion in a second. So if there is a question in regards to his ruling, any of the other members of the board can appeal his ruling, but it must get a second, and then you'll have a vote of the rest of the commissioners.
Thank you, Mr. Maggot. I make a motion that the mayor be required to enforce the rules of decorum with regard to addressing the commission and specifically not allowing members of the public to call out in any manner individual commissioners.
I think that's fair and should be seconded.
okay, so we have a motion from Commissioner Rich regarding public comment and members of the commission being addressed, and seconded by Commissioner Clark. Are there any public comment on this motion? Make sure you fill out a green card. We'll get back to public comment, regular public comment on non-agenda items after this motion. If you'd like to provide public comment on this motion, make sure you fill out a green card with the clerk.
Robin Cartwright, City of Stuart. Excuse me, Mary, if you could please update mine to be this because it's applicable to this. I am completely flabbergasted by the fact that commissioners are welcome to take the accolades when they feel like they're being honored, but the minute there's something that's potentially disparaging, that you take issue with it. I did email the city attorney about the previous comment that was made by a sitting commissioner who happens to be on the right-hand side of the dais, since we cannot talk about by name, about the comment that he made when he stated that he was door knocking and it was borderline electioneering. And I also emailed the Commission on Ethics and I emailed the Florida Election Commission about this because I do feel like it is something that is questionable. You can't apply the rules to some and not to all. So a person seeking re-election, it is not municipal business, even if it's made in passing. You cannot use the meeting to structure it as a broadcast because it goes beyond the scope of a commissioner's charter authorized powers. You cannot convert that to an operational expenditure into a campaign advertisement that violates the spirit and text of the financing laws. And you cannot allow a commissioner to campaign from the dais as it breaks procedural rules of order, as it is you are in a taxpayer-funded forum to broadcast a personal message that non-incumbent challengers are legally blocked from matching, since challengers are restricted to public comments from the podium and 3 minutes are enforced for their time limits. And in the Code of Conduct, it states very specifically, the City Commission is precluded by Florida law from endorsing any candidate or elected office. The city attorney did respond, and I'm very grateful for his response, but it does go into this slippery slope. If you're going to apply the rules to some, you need to apply them to everybody. So if you're willing to accept the accolades where you are allowed to be mentioned by name, that's great. But you also should be allowed to be able to be challenged by your residents who pay taxes in the city of Stuart especially, to be able to say that you said something. It is on the record that you said something. It is not a secret that you said something. So there's absolutely no reason that we should have this double standard where accolades are allowed and criticisms are not. Nobody said anything critical in Mr. Ogden's comment. That was not a critical statement. It simply was, you voted for this and then you said this. There was no attack. There was no personal attack that was made. And I find it completely, completely ironic and completely hypocritical that you can go back and forth with certain people when you like what they say, but when you don't like what they say, you take issue with it. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Robin.
Do we have more public comment?
I do, but Derek Ogden needs to continue his. He was not complete with his 3 minutes.
We're going to get back to that. This
Right,
is,
we're just
Oh,
voting
okay,
on
I'm
this.
sorry.
Sorry. This is
for
regarding the
this particular
motion.
item? Okay. Tom Witherington? Whittington. Please go ahead.
Welcome, Tom.
Commissioners, Mayor, and all the folks here. My name is Tom Whittington. I live in Palm City, and I'm just thankful that we have a body that is doing their best to try to bring our paradise continually to Stuart. And I just hope we as residents can be civil in our presentation of our beliefs. Thank you very much.
Thanks, Tom. So we're going to get back to the regular public. This is public comment regarding the motion, yes. Is there any discussion from commissioners? Commissioner Rich?
Yeah, I'm just going to read the ordinance 250D. The public comment period will not be used to air personal grievances between individuals, make political endorsements, or for political campaign purposes. Speakers shall address all comments to the commissioners as a whole and not to individual commissioners. Your obligation is very clear here, and no one will benefit from zooming down this slippery slope. So that I ask that we all vote in favor, and certainly this is a political candidate, that we err on the err on the side of decorum.
Thank you, Commissioner Rich. Any other commissioners? Commissioner Giobbi?
Again, so this is the second commissioner to state that the person speaking was a candidate, which he did not state in his public comment.
What I will say, I've read the ordinance myself. I didn't think there was any attacking going on regarding it. That's why, as the chair, I didn't see an issue with it moving forward. I don't think there's an issue reciting things that have happened in the past at prior public meetings. I don't think there was an attack per se. I think more of an attack like our city attorney mentioned. If it was more attacking like, hey, you did X, Y, Z, you said this, you did this, we're ashamed of you, et cetera, that's more attacking language, but that's my opinion. Commissioner Rich, your light was on?
Yeah, it doesn't say attack. It says address. It doesn't say attack. You don't have to be attacking to be in violation of the ordinance. You simply have to reference or address any individual commissioner.
So does that mean we can't name like elected officials up here by name? Because it's almost like any time you mention a commissioner's name, you're violating that ordinance technically, if you wanted to be very technical about it. And like was stated in public comment, it's happened in the past. I think, and I'll use your own words, I think us as elected officials, we have to take the positive and the negative, right? And I personally didn't feel like there was any calling you out. I've been called out publicly and stuff while you were chair, with all due respect. I didn't have any problems with it. I'm in the public spotlight at this point, so is everyone else that sits up here. We should be able to take criticism, whether it's positive or negative. At the end of the day, and I've stated this prior, it's a privilege for us to sit in these chairs. And I think sometimes we seem to forget that. I'm thankful to be the chair, and I'm thankful to give the opportunity to the public if they want to address how it's being done. I don't see an issue with how it was done in public comment, but that's what I
Mr.
have
Mayor,
to
if
say.
you don't want to enforce the ordinance, then let's change the ordinance. But this is the ordinance on the book. You are bound as the chair. And as you well know, when I was the mayor and people attempted to disparage individual members, I would call them out and say, you must address the commission as a whole. So I would not bring that up as an example because I enforce that.
Well,
I'm asking that you do as well.
and I feel, with all due respect, Commissioner Rich, I feel as if I'm doing my job. I understand you made a motion because you disagree that I'm doing my job. but I feel as if I am as the chair. Any further public comment or discussion from the board members? Mary, could you roll call this motion?
Commissioner Giobi?
Mary, can I just ask if you read the motion again? Sorry, we've done so many back
Alright.
and forths. Yeah, that's okay.
I can restate it, or you can state it, Mary.
I
whatever's
have
easier.
that, make a motion for the mayor to enforce the decorum and follow the ordinance.
Okay, so my vote is no.
Commissioner Clark?
Follow the ordinance, yes.
Commissioner Rich?
Yes.
Mayor Reed?
No. Motion, I guess, fails and dies with the board split 2 and 2. So I guess we'll move on with public comment. I don't know how much time the speaker had for public comment left.
2 minutes and 28 seconds.
2:28.
So, that rule governs who a resident may address. It does not prohibit naming a commissioner. As long as I speak to this body as a whole, which I am fully within my rights and within your rules to state plainly that Commissioner Clark and Commissioner Rich let the amendment die. That is not an attack. That is the public record stated to the body, exactly as your own rule permits. And this is a rule that the commission wrote, which means you can amend it. I'm asking that you amend subsection C and D so residents may address each of you directly and by name, while keeping all the rules necessary to keep this room orderly. I see words like accountability and transparency on everyone's campaign literature. Instead of talking the talk, I'd like to see all of you walking the walk. I'm also asking that you bring back the referendum that protects Sailfish Park, and this time, let the residents of Stuart have their say. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Gail Goldie?
Welcome. Welcome.
Good evening, Commissioners, and it's a pleasure to be here again, even though it's really hot out there, but I'm telling you, you're keeping it nice and cool in here, so. And let's keep it cool on the dais so it doesn't get any hotter. I'm here because tomorrow evening at 6 p.m., we're having a candidates forum.
So I don't think that can be discussed. Candidate forums, it's a clear, we'll wait for,
Are you asking for my?
yeah, I'm asking for your opinion.
All right. Our ordinance says the public comment period will not be used to make political endorsements or for political campaigning purposes. I don't think Ms. Goldie is doing either. I think she is announcing that we're having a candidate forum for debating, I guess.
Right.
And you're identifying a date, time, and place. Right.
Yes, yeah, and, yeah.
I mean,
And-
you're not
and-
endorsing anybody, and you're not making any
Absolutely not.
campaigning.
Absolutely not.
All right.
There'll be
Sorry
no-
for interrupting. I
That's
just wanted to
okay.
get clarification.
That's okay, yeah. So at the Flagler Center, the forum is presented by WeCareMartin.org. We hope to have all candidates participate and understand conflicts occur. So if any candidate has a conflict, out of courtesy and respect for your constituents, please let us know so we can fill your empty seat with notice of your response or non-response. So the attendees who are looking to hear and learn about you have come to hear your platform, understand why you did not respond, did not attend. And what we will do is we will just have a placard card there with the candidate's name on it, and it will just say no response. So that's all I wanted to say about the forum, and it will be tomorrow evening. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
David Kelman?
Welcome, David.
Thank you, sir.
Welcome.
David Kelman, Poplar Creek Condo Association, 950 South County Highway. I have a couple of things, okay? One, The statute was changed over a year ago about ambulances, fire trucks, engines, trucks, ladders, whatever. I feel for the safety of our fire rescue, I believe the city should definitely investigate this and look into it for the chief vehicles, along with ambulances, R1, R2, engines, and trucks, to have a blue light installed on the back of their truck. Oh, it's nothing but changing a lens. The statute was changed. Only law enforcement were allowed blues and whites and reds, or blues and whites. Well, now the law has changed where they're allowed to have it on the back. Now, when there's an auto accident on US 1, and these guys come along blowing down the road with their lights and sirens, most people look at amber and red as traffic lights or signals or brakes, okay? These gentlemen need something, ladies and women in the department, need something when they pull their ambulances or their engines up on an auto accident, where that blue light is seen in heavy rain pours, multiple reasons, okay? So the commission as a whole, not a split, ridiculous fighting that goes on here. It's just ridiculous. It's embarrassing, actually. But you all need, as a city manager, and the city commissioners and the mayor need to consider addressing this with the fire department. So we eliminate any future or any casualties, accidents in a manner of that, okay? That's the first thing I have. The second thing is, I would personally like to set up a meeting with the city manager. I did discuss things with him in the past. I've tried to call, I couldn't get to anybody. I would like him to come out to the property, okay? Ruth has come, Mr. Rich has come, Sean's been out there, and discussed this mango problem on 2 city-owned properties. Nobody else owns them but the city. We've pulled it up on the map. The park in the front on Canner and that side street over there, I don't know the name of it off my head. And the other one, the mangrove park all over there. The mangroves are out of control. Nobody's doing nothing about it. I can't get the waterways cleaned because our grants were denied, okay? Which you just found that out by me. But the grants were denied for whatever reason, and I appreciate what Ruth did. She busted her ass on it and did a great job, but it is what it is. This other thing I have is, for a year and a half ago, and I think all you commissioners know, because Commissioner Rich came out along with Ruth. They came out to the property, and they visited the property, and they saw the issues that we entail there. But I don't know if I'm going to get a motion on this one. But I got this thing in the mail here, okay? I'm going to probably get a motion. I got this thing in the mail from one of the commissioners up here. I'm not going to say a name. I'm done already? Well, anyway, I'm going to finish 2 seconds. It says, protect our waterways.
Thank you,
okay?
sir.
Well, how come Commissioner has never even emailed me back or wanted to meet me? So I guess I'll have to address that tomorrow night.
Thank you, Dave. City manager should be able to follow up and address, okay. He's going to follow up with you.
Karen Hall, Yost Rudge.
Good evening, Karen Hall, Yost Rudge, 1701 Southwest Palm City Road. And I would like to address you all that it's interesting that Commissioner Rich was so adamant. I always stood up and see, how about the part you always let people say when something was good, just like right now there was no point of order when somebody was praising you. So what Ms. Cartwright said, you can't have it both ways. Okay, so don't say, oh, I'm so great because I didn't let people say bad stuff. I only let people say good stuff. Either you get both or you get neither. And that's not what I was going to talk about. I want to say thank you for your service, and I'm excited about 250 years. And I know all y'all have gotten my emails. All y'all know that your attorneys lie and defraud the court. So I just want to say, when the city of Stuart starts litigation or even starts a sham lawsuit, that Winston Churchill, I don't know if you know about the beaches and fighting from the beaches. And I'm going to tell you, to honor this country, that we will fight you in the 19th Circuit. We will fight you in the 4th DCA. We will fight you in the Florida Supreme Court. We will fight you in the federal court and the district court. We will fight you in the federal appeals court. And we will fight you in the United States Supreme Court. Because you start stuff and then you don't take accountability. Okay? So I just wanted to do that. And just remember, we will never surrender, we will never give in, and we will get accountability for the things you started and the things you lied about and the things you refused to take accountability for it. And I'm just going to say, you know what? All y'all weren't there when it happened, except Eula Clark. Eula Clark has been complicit since 2011. Thank you.
I have no further public comment.
Seeing no further public comment, we're going to move on to approval of the consent calendar. I would like to see item 7 pulled, but it's not necessary. That was just mine, and if we did pull it, you could put it at the end. It wasn't a big deal. But looking for a motion for approval of the consent calendar.
I'll make a motion to approve this consent calendar with number 7 being moved to the end of the calendar, the end of the agenda.
Second.
So we have a motion for approval of the consent calendar from Commissioner Giobbe, pulling item 7 and moving it to the end, and seconded by Commissioner Rich. Are there any public comments on this motion? Seeing none, Mary, roll call.
Mayor Reed?
Yes?
Commissioner Clark?
Yes.
Commissioner Rich?
Yes.
Commissioner Giobbe?
Yes.
Motion passes unanimously. Moving on to commission action regarding the road closure for the 53rd Annual Stuart Boat Show. Lee, if you could read that.
Mr. Mayor, should we take item 7 prior to?
We moved it to the end.
Oh, to the end?
Yeah, sorry.
Resolution number 44-2026, a resolution of the City Commission of the City of Stuart, Florida, approving a road closure for the 53rd Annual Stuart Boat Show from 5:30 a.m. on Tuesday, January 12, 2027, through 5 p.m. on Monday, January 18, 2027, along Northwest Dixie Highway, formerly State Road 707, from Southwest Albany Avenue, south of the old Roosevelt Bridge, to Northwest Poinsettia Street, to include the FEC Railroad crossing off Northwest Fern Street and Northwest Dixie Highway, north of the St. Lucie River Drawbridge, subject to Florida Department of Transportation approval, providing for an effective date and for other purposes.
Is there a presentation, Jim? For the
No, sir, there's not, Mayor. I'm here to answer any questions. This is pretty much a formality.
Yeah.
So it's typically on consent every year. The boat show has been a great partner of the city for 53 years, and we are very excited to have them continue with us. We wanted to make sure that you understood the road closure situation. I did bring a couple of slides here just so you can kind of visualize it. We basically just closed Old Dixie Highway between Albany and Poinsettia, which is a state road. I'm going to bring up another slide for you to kind of see what this looks like. It's basically this area right here, this corridor. I'm sure you've all been to the boat show.
Yeah.
So you kind of know where it is. It's the old Roosevelt Bridge, basically. So we just wanted to make sure that you were aware that it's a formality that we close the road, and sometimes the city manager will sign off on it. Sometimes it's delegated to me to sign off on it. So it's really just a formality. We do have representatives from the boat show here with the marine industries. If you'd like to speak with them or have them come up, it's your pleasure.
Do any of the commissioners have any questions for Jim or any of the applicants regarding this commission action? Yes, Commissioner Rich.
I just want to echo what Mr. Trotsky has said. It's been such an important part of our community. Mr. Whittington was nice enough to take me to the show last time. It was a beautiful day, and it's nice to walk over the bridge being closed, and it's such a great success. We have 2 new marinas in, so the potential for this show to really grow into something very, very impressive and very beneficial to our businesses and to our employers and to people looking for high-skilled, high-paying jobs. It's just terrific, and thank you for sticking with this all these decades.
Any questions from board members?
No, Mr. Mayor, I'd just like to make a
Yeah.
motion now. With regard to item number 8, Resolution 44, 2026. Did we read the,
We did, yes. We did.
that we approve that? That's my motion.
Do we have a second?
I'll second the motion.
So we have a motion to approve resolution number 44, 2026 from Commissioner Clark and seconded by Commissioner Giobbe. Are there any public comments regarding this motion? Seeing no public comments, I just wanted to say I'm an avid boater myself. My grandfather was actually a stakeholder in a marina in Martin County. So this means a lot to me, and hopefully when we have this long-term lease come back, it'd be nice to have this for years to come. So regardless of how this board is made up of, whether I'm here or not, the boat show will continue to go on where someone can't just come in and obliterate it, because we are the sailfish capital of the world. So,
Yes.
Mary, if you could roll call?
Commissioner Rich?
Yes.
Mayor Reed?
Yes.
Commissioner Clark?
Yes.
Commissioner Giobbe?
Yes.
Motion passes unanimously.
Thank you.
Welcome.
Say a few words?
Sure.
Tom.
I'd come to the podium, though. It's,
Tom.
You do have to come to the side.
thanks, Tom, for understanding.
Tom Whittington, Palm City, past president of the marine industry. Honored to glad to have Dan Romance, current president, with us today. And I will tell you, I have been with many of us in this room many times for many years with Jim's support, hoping that we could purvey the reasons why we have the boat show. And this money goes right back into the community. We as the Marine Industry Association, are working really hard with workforce and all the other areas. So I do think there's a great future ahead, and we appreciate this because it does give us some continuity to work with our promoter and for them to see the commitment the city has. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you, Tom. Moving on to agenda item 9 regarding the revenue bond approval for 2 fire apparatuses. Lee?
Resolution number 48-2026, a resolution of the City Commission of the City of Stuart, Florida, authorizing the issuance of a non-ad valorem revenue note, Series 2026 of the city in the principal amount of not to exceed $1,920,000 to finance the acquisition of fire apparatus and to pay costs of issuance thereof, as further described herein, making certain findings of public purpose, making such determinations as are required to afford the note bank qualified status, providing that the note shall be a limited obligation of the city payable from non-ad valorem revenues budgeted, appropriated, and deposited as provided herein, providing for the rights, securities, and remedies for the owner of the note, making certain covenants and agreements in connection therewith, and providing for an effective date.
Thanks, Lee. Any of the commissioners have questions for staff regarding this agenda item? Motion, maybe? Or any discussion?
Does fire chief have anything? I know I spoke with, sorry, Mr. Mayor, I spoke with city manager about this. Fire chief, no. I make a motion that regard to resolution number 48, 2026, that we approve this revenue bond issue.
I'll second the motion.
We have
Well, it's
a,
actually it's 8, 9, technically, I mean, there's a.
Well, we only read
But
one.
we can only
It's
do
the
10.
purchase,
We've
the
done
bond is
9.
the next item.
Right,
We're doing one at a time.
yes.
yeah, this is,
One
so-
needs to be approved before you can do the second one.
So we have a motion for resolution number 48, 2026 for approval from Commissioner Clark and seconded by Commissioner Giobbe. Are there any public comments on this motion? The only Commissioner Rich, yes, your light's on.
I just, what is the lead time on these fire vehicles from the manufacturer? I know it's gotten really lengthy.
July 2026 and November of 2026.
Well, the two that we're contemplating this evening are July, and then there is another in November. But Chief's walking to the podium. Go ahead.
And then the
But this-
delivery-
This was in your fiscal '24 budget,
Yep.
which was basically the appropriation to
Right.
purchase. Now this is the funding mechanism to fund it, and delivery is forthcoming. I'll turn it over to Chief.
And this is Bombardier? Bombardier?
No, this is E1, emergency one.
Oh,
in
E1,
Ocala.
okay.
Yeah. So to answer your question, yeah, with 24 to now, those are the time.
Okay. So-
Right. So this is, again, this is the financing part of it.
Right. So, yeah, we have to think ahead with
Yeah,
these.
for sure.
Do any of the board members have questions for the chief? No. I have a question for you, chief, and this might be maybe even for finance. As far as I'm concerned, when we have a fiscal, this was budgeted in fiscal year 23-24, correct?
Correct.
Why are we bonding something when we budgeted for it? Does anyone have an answer?
I don't.
I know when we set, this is a PO, by the way, so this is a purchase order. So when we budget for something with a PO, are we not setting the money aside? And I know you just stepped into this role, so this is not targeted towards any staff members. It's just, I know how I run my household. When I budget for something, it means I'm setting the money aside to purchase that item. And I want to make sure that we're on the same page with that definition.
So the way that our purchasing policy reads, it says that if it's budgeted for and done by PO, that kind of the funds carry over is the term that's been used, that we've heard a lot used. So I think there was a little bit of that context. We also did hear of the debt being mentioned in previous meetings. As we look back and watch historical meetings, we can see that that was part of the conversation that was had back in '24. The reason that we're doing it now is because, one, we don't want to do a loan for something 3 years prior to getting it and pay interest and stuff
That's
prior to
understandable.
getting it. So we're doing it now to be conservative, and also we just paid off an old loan. So that was paid off in April. So also used by the fire assessment fees as part of paying off that debt. So it's kind of a continuation. So in order to be fiscally responsible for our residents, instead of compounding it, when you can pay off one and add on another, it's a smoother transition. So that would be my reference to that.
But does this, I guess, and does this make sense where we, like, going back to the question, where we budget for it, are we not setting that money aside? Like, did we not?
It's the process that takes place here. Budgeting, when you budget, your budget is a plan. You did not fund it at the time that it was in the budget. But this non-ad valorem assessment, Fire 1 and Fire 2, are revolving. They reoccur. The latest note was paid off in April of '26. The smart use of these funds in the future is to then occur this additional debt to fund this apparatus and so on. And the process has been taking place for well over a decade here in the city of Stuart. It's done differently in other places, and we've talked about, Kate and I and Anthony have talked about doing this and actually doing what you said, Mayor, which is separate out those capital expenditures, remove them from the operating budget and operating and maintenance, and then we will fence those monies for whatever period of time, 2 years, 5 years, whatever the capital budget is, and we will identify those funds in the future so that we don't do this process. There are different ways of doing it. This is the way it has been done for about a decade here, and the use of this Fire 1, Fire 2 assessment. Bond counsel is here. Your counsel is here if there are any further questions on that. But I think Kate understands the process. We're on the same page. And we could look to other ways of doing this in the future. But this is a fine way of doing it as well.
The other piece that I wanted to mention is that for the apparatus that is coming in November, we are using impact fees for that because that is part of the expansion for the new fire station. So it is this, though it's a loan for these two pieces, it is a blended method to financing overall for all three pieces.
Like I said, that's all I had to say regarding it. It just, I've seen it in past budget workshops as well, how they present, and it's a line item for an expenditure, but it's almost like we're budgeting for it, but we're not using the money that we've budgeted. Instead, we're gonna go bond it. It doesn't make sense for me, I guess, as a business owner, if we budget for something and then we're gonna go bond it and pay finance charges when we have the money. That's all I had to say. Yes, city manager.
Sorry, I think you explained it the best way it could, and that's the way I look at it as well. What you budgeted was actually the authorization, the purchase order, to allow staff to go ahead and make that order. And with the promise that it would be paid, and you were secure in doing that because, again, you had established a process to do it, and it is being funded by this non-ad valorem assessment, which was approved by the commission, and again, it is proven to have been used appropriately over a decade. So again, there's different ways of doing stuff, and this is one of them.
So for example, in other departments, like when we purchase sanitation trucks, we budget for them, and then it authorizes the city manager to purchase those sanitation trucks, correct? Because I haven't seen one come in front of the board where it's been bonded.
I would have to look back at a specific item. Historically, I couldn't answer that in this.
Yeah, that's,
And I don't have history with that here in Stuart, but I have history with apparatus like this or big capital program. So, but if you give Kate and me a chance to look that up, and we'll come to you during the budget workshops with those answers.
okay. Commissioner Rich, you had your light on?
Well, correct me if I'm wrong. You have to order it first. We have to authorize the city to order it. We don't pay for it, or we probably put a small amount down, correct? Nothing. So we don't pay for it until we receive it. So 24, we said, yes, we will take the necessary budget steps to pay for this, knowing that it's actually 3 years down the road. So that's the difference.
Yeah, I figured it would have been, like I said, budgeted for like in that fiscal year, because what's the point then in even having it in the budget then if you're just gonna bond it anyway? It's not an actual expenditure of like cash flow, right?
Because they have to make a firm commitment to this company that we will pay for it when delivered.
Correct, but they just stated that we didn't put a deposit down. We just, what do we do, sign a contract, I guess? There's nothing that gets done, you just call them?
No, that would be the PO process.
Yeah.
So we just issue PO, we go through the requisition process, get POs, and that's
And they don't care how we pay for it. This is more on the city on how we do business, I feel like.
how we pay for the PO is the promissory.
Correct. Have you ever seen it done like this way before, where they budget for things and then bond it?
It's always been behind the scenes.
So what's that mean?
It means I go through this process. I don't know how they pay for it.
Gotcha. So, and you've been with the department for how, and this, I'm not trying to put you on the spot, Vince, or anything like that.
Yeah, no, I got you.
With all due respect, have you seen it done this way historically, like where we budget for? your
Again,
apparatuses?
it's not really a knock. It's more of us just, we didn't have the involvement with the past finance director or, staff or whatever. It was, we went through the process, placed the order, and
then however the commission decided in the.
or
city
however it
manager-
happened, however the payment happened in the budget, how they did it in finance, I don't know.
Yeah. All right, Commissioner Giobi, your light was on?
Yes. Maybe it's something we can address as we go through the budget workshops. I also know when you set up a budget and a line item, it should be funded. You've set aside that money. What I'm hearing is that we've set aside the intent to use that money,
Not the actual money.
but not the actual money. So then my question would always be is like, just as a number, you have $10 million budgeted for year 2026, but you actually didn't use the money. So where is that other money?
Correct. Like,
Yes.
like I could use the CRA for an example,
Yeah.
right? Pinal budgets all these capital improvement projects, but is the money not there? Like, why would that department be ran any different than the next department? It just, I don't know.
To be clear,
Yes.
you did not obligate any funds in 2024. You did not.
So it should have rolled over then.
Sir, it did not, it was, the way you fund this program is through this non-ad valorem fire assessment fee, which has been used, again, for over a decade. So, yeah, There is no rollover of fund. What you did in 2024 was basically issue a purchase order with no obligation whatsoever of any monies, nor did you assess anything for these two apparatus. What you are now doing is funding that appropriation today, in today's dollars, using this vehicle. And it's one way of doing it. Again, there's plenty of ways to do this, but this is how it has been done. And these fire assessment fees continue on and on and on, which is a good thing. And they will fund these apparatus and the paying of this loan, as well as other sources too that will pay this loan. You did not obligate any monies in 2024. You did not assess anything other than what had been occurring for years and years. And so there's no extra burden, there's no carryover, there's no hidden cash sitting anywhere. It didn't, all you did was issued a PO, basically. And that's about as simple terms as I can put it. Again, capital program is done many different ways in many different places, and we're going to explore those and bring alternatives to that so that we're not confusing folks when we get to this point in time where it looks like we budgeted for something, we never paid for it, we put the money aside. We did not. We did not put any money aside. We just went to a vendor and said, we'd like to purchase these two things based on the promise that we will pay them in the future. However, this commission chooses to pay for them using both this fire assessment fee, cash in the bank, or other ways of funding things, grants, et cetera. So I know that was long, but that explores every avenue. There was no obligation of funding back in '24 that rolls to today's dollars.
And
The fire assessment fee was busy paying off the previous 5-year bond, which was used to purchase more apparatus and other fire equipment, which was the proper use of that fire assessment fee.
And just to be clear, I didn't want to make anything sound bad for the previous finance staff, but they made it crystal clear to me, the director, that, to echo what Kate said, they basically told me, here, we're going to go through the requisition, here's the PO, you place the order, we all know that. And he said, give me a few months heads up when you think they're going to be done, and we'll go secure the financing, because I don't want to make payments on something for 3 years that we don't have.
It's understandable.
So that was what I was told.
Which makes sense.
Yeah.
That's how it works.
Seeing no further discussion, Mary, could you do the roll call?
Commissioner Giobi?
Yes.
Commissioner Clark?
Yes.
Commissioner Rich?
Yes.
Mayor Reed?
Yes, unfortunately. Motion passes unanimously.
Thank you.
Thank you. Maybe for the budget workshops, it'll be done differently, but moving on to agenda item 10 regarding the budget amendment regarding the prior agenda item. Lee?
Resolution number 49-2026, a resolution of the City Commission of the City of Stuart, Florida, authorizing budget amendment number 4 to the fiscal year 2026 budget, appropriating and authorizing the receipt of revenue and the expenditure of funds for fire apparatus, providing for an effective date and for other purposes.
Okay, I'd like to make a motion to accept Resolution 49, 2026, resolution of the City of Commission of City of Stuart, Florida, authorizing the budget amendment number 4 to the fiscal year 2026 budget, appropriating and authorizing the receipt of revenue and the expenditure of the funds for the fire apparatus, providing for an effective date and for other purposes.
Second.
We have a motion for resolution number 49, 2026 from Commissioner Giobi and seconded by Commissioner Clark. Are there any public comments regarding this budget amendment motion? Seeing no public comment, Mary, if you could roll call?
Commissioner Clark?
Yes.
Commissioner Rich?
Yes.
Mayor Reed?
Yes.
Commissioner Giobbi?
Yes.
Motion passes unanimously. Moving on to ordinance second reading regarding Marina Cove at Riverside right-of-way abandonment. And we have a presentation from Jody. If you could read the agenda item.
Ordinance number 2554-2026, an ordinance of the City Commission of the City of Stuart, Florida, providing for the abandonment of certain public right-of-way within the city, being that certain 20-foot right-of-way as set forth on the plat of Riverside Park as recorded in Plat Book 4, page 25, St. Lucie, now Martin County, Florida, public records running north to south, described in Exhibit A attached hereto and depicted in Exhibit B attached hereto, providing for payment of a privilege fee, providing for conflict, providing for severability, providing for an effective date, and for other purposes.
Good evening, Mayor, Vice Mayor, and, sorry, not Vice Mayor, sorry.
It's okay, Jody.
And Commissioners. For the record, my name is Jody Kugler, the Development Director for the City of Stuart. Tonight, I'm presenting agenda item number 11. The applicant Marina Cove at Riverside LLC has filed a petition for the abandonment of a portion of the right-of-way in the accordance with Chapter 36 of the city's Code of Ordinances. The request has been reviewed pursuant to the applicable provisions relating to the abandonment of public property. This abandonment would facilitate access to the proposed townhomes and single-family residence along Northwest Dixie Highway. Pursuant to the public notice requirements, on June 15, 2025, the applicant mailed to all the adjacent property owners within 300 feet of the subject parcel to provide details of the requested development and the date and time of tonight's public hearing. Additionally, one sign was posted on the property with the same information. On March 2026, the City Commission approved Resolution Number 23-2026, the intention of the City Commission to abandon a portion of the public right-of-way and to set public hearings before the City Commission at its regular meeting in the City Commission's chambers to consider the abandonment of the subject property. The 20-foot public right-of-way is outlined in red. The city's Public Works Department has determined that this use of the public right-of-way is no longer in the public's best interest and does not object to the abandonment of the city's interest. This is the plat that was recorded in 1925, which identifies the 20-foot right-of-way as outlined in yellow and red. The adjacent right-of-ways have been previously abandoned by the city. The privilege fee is determined and fixed by computing 100% of the value added to the adjoining real property of the petitioner. The value added is determined by the appraisal of a qualified registered real estate appraiser who practices in the county and is paid for by the petitioner in addition to the privilege fee. Based on the appraisal report prepared by Callaway and Price Incorporated Real Estate Appraisers and Consultants dated December 17, 2024, the estimated privilege fee to be paid to the City of Stuart is $32,600. The applicant was submitted prior to the adoption of ordinance number 2539, 2025, which is the ZIP amendments, and therefore is subject to the regulations in effect at the time of submittal. The proposed development encompasses approximately 2.19 acres. The applicant is proposing 2 buildings consisting of 22 townhomes, along with 5 individual single-family homes fronting Northwest Dixie Highway. Based on the density regulations in effect at the time of submittal, the maximum allowable density is 15 units per acre without the Urban Code conditional use permit. While the site could accommodate up to 32 units at the maximum density, the applicant is only proposing a total of 27 units. At the first reading on May 2026, the City Commission approved the ordinance for transmission to second reading, and the motion was passed by 3 to 1. Tonight, staff is recommending adoption of ordinance number 2554-2026 on second reading, subject to the conditions set forth therein. This does conclude staff presentation, and I do have George Messimer with caller and hearing if you have any questions for staff or the petitioner.
Do any of the commissioners have questions for staff or the petitioner?
I guess, so
Are you going to?
Commissioner Clark, your light was on?
Marina Cole. No, I met with the petitioner.
So it's not a quasi judicial.
Yeah, I
but,
know,
yeah.
but I met with them, and I don't have any further questions.
Commissioner Rich?
so this is 20 feet wide by about 260 feet, right?
Approximately that, yes. Yes, I'm sorry, I was looking at the petitioner and his junior associate.
Bring daddy to work day.
So it's not even 100 yards.
No.
Any of the commissioners have questions for staff or the petitioner? I will say, it's always, the abandonment of right-of-way, it's almost like the government, they get your property and then they want to sell it back to you, right? It's, doesn't necessarily make sense. And Jody, this is for you. When it comes to these right-of-way abandonments, we only look at them when petitioners approach the city.
That is correct, yes.
Okay.
Typically, we do not try to advocate to abandon the right-of-ways. In this particular case, both sides have already been abandoned. Also, we did do the grant program, the FDOT, to upgrade all the roadways along Northwest Dixie Highway, Poinsettia, in that area, and we put on-street parking. So, and that roadway, that section of roadway was dedicated over to the city from FDOT, which in this particular case would not allow driveway cuts along Northwest Riverside. So the city does have to provide some type of access, and this is the most appropriate way to handle that, this particular application.
Okay. Is there any motion from the commission regarding this ordinance?
I will make a motion for approval of ordinance number 2554-2026, Marina Cove at Riverside right-of-way abandonment.
Second.
So we have a motion for approval of ordinance number 2554-2026 by Commissioner Rich and seconded by Commissioner Clark. Are there any public comments regarding this motion? We have one public comment. Welcome. You can fill it out after.
My name is Mary Ann Seymour, and I live at 414 North River Drive, which is at the back end of this on North River Drive, one of 3 buildings that are there now. And I just wondered if this is the latest site plan, because what we've been told is that the site plan has changed and that the road off Poinsettia goes through to Olean at the top, closest to North River Drive. Right now, there's a road coming in off Poinsettia and goes down through the middle. And it's a one-way street.
So you're referring to the road right here, right in the middle of the, this right here? See where I'm moving my mouse, right here? Here's my,
can't
I'm
see.
sorry, right here. Let me
Where is
get
your
it for
mouse
you.
at?
Oh, let me
Sorry.
put it on this side.
The light.
See right here?
Okay.
House ran away.
Yeah,
Yeah, right here.
this one, right.
Yes.
We were told that now this road goes straight through here. No, ma'am. And this is, so that was not true.
No, so this right here is going to be gated. This road right here is going to be gated.
Jody, we
sorry.
can't see what you're pointing at
So
though
it's
while
gonna be
you're,
gated.
if you could just stay at the podium as well, she's gonna point, sorry, she's gonna point to it
okay.
on the screen so we can all pay
So
attention.
it's on the record.
Yes.
So see this right here?
Right.
This is
That
what you're
that was the road in
referring to?
question, right.
Okay, so this is probably where you live, right
I
around
do.
one of these? Okay. So this right here is going to be private, right here. This right here, where they're abandoning the right-of-way, if it moves forward, this will be not gated.
But that street in between the 22
will-
is
yes.
one way.
This will be dedicated to the townhomes right here.
Okay,
And they'll be going in through here. There'll be a gated entrance right into here.
okay. That was my question.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you for your comments. Jody, I have a question for you.
Yes.
Will it exit out on the Dixie Highway by chance, or no? It just dead ends?
Yeah, so the piece of right-of-way that's being abandoned, it exits to the north. There's no direct access to Dixie.
Okay. So there wouldn't be a road, George, that would come off of, what is it, it wouldn't come off of Poinsettia and come out onto Dixie Highway?
That currently exists today.
Oh,
Yeah, so that where
Well,
point,
with the
where
private.
Right here.
Poinsettia meets Dixie, so there's an
Correct.
intersection there.
Right there.
But coming into the private road off Poinsettia and coming around onto Dixie, that wouldn't exist off this abandonment right away?
No, so there'll be no direct access from this property to
Dixie.
Dixie.
Gotcha.
It goes north and south to Oleander or to Poinsettia.
Okay.
That's good.
I just want to be clear then, so this would not get paved then, or you would connect?
No, it's still going to be paved. It'll be a paved alley. It'll just be owned by the HOA.
Gotcha.
Versus
Currently,
being-
right now, it's not paved.
Currently, it's unimproved since 1925.
Just a big
Okay.
dirt lot.
Yeah.
Thanks, George and Jody. Any other public comment regarding this motion? Seeing none, Mary, roll call?
Commissioner Clark?
Yes.
Commissioner Giobi?
Yes.
Mayor Reed?
No.
Commissioner Rich?
Yes.
Motion passes 3-1 with Mayor Reed dissenting. Congratulations, George.
Thank you.
Seeing no further agenda items.
We have number 7.
Number 7.
Oh, sorry. Budget amendment for the tram replacement that was pulled by myself. Lee, if you could read into the record.
Resolution number 47-2026, a resolution of the City Commission of the City of Stuart, Florida, authorizing budget amendment number 3 to the 2025-2026 fiscal year budget, appropriating and authorizing the expenditure of funds for tram replacement due to accident of previous tram that was deemed a total loss by insurer, providing an effective date and for other purposes. I don't know if Kate wanted to come up, but I can also input that there was a tram that was in an accident, and it was a total loss, so we got insurance funds to pay for the damage to it, and so now we're doing, even though we've got collected money, we still got to do a budget amendment to buy a new one, so, to replace it.
So did my only two questions were, we obviously haven't purchased it yet, correct?
I think you're going to have to ask them, but, we got an actual cash value of an old tram, so it's not going to be a replacement. So we got cash for the actual cash value of the tram that was damaged, but now we're going to be buying a new one.
Gotcha.
So,
Mayor,
Yes.
Milton Lake Public Works Director. This is, when we got a check for the tram, it went to the general fund. This is just asking to move the money to the correct department so we can purchase a new tram.
Gotcha.
We have not purchased it yet. No.
Okay. And this was from an accident. Did the person who caused the accident, was it the
A
person?
tow truck driver ran to the back of one of our trams and totaled the tram out.
Did the tow truck driver pay for the replacement tram?
Yes.
Okay, those were my only
No,
questions.
we went after the, yes.
Well, the insurance company.
Insurance
Well,
company.
his insurance, yes, it
Yeah.
wasn't the city, okay.
Correct.
Those are my only questions. So, yeah, Commissioner Giobi?
I just have a question. So it only went out to the insurance company, so the city only would have been reimbursed on the value of that tram at the time. I mean, it would have been, depreciated.
Depreciation, yes. Mhm.
Yeah. So depreciated. So the reality is the tow truck company was never made the city whole on that balance because
You gotta go by depreciation. We can't control that.
well,
That's how insurance works.
Yes.
no, I know how insurance works, but the
Okay.
tow truck driver, well, was it his insurance or ours? I guess that's the key.
His.
His insurance.
Always his, so that's the question. Okay.
So like, for example, if you had a 10-year-old car and you totaled it, they're not going to pay you for a new vehicle through
No, they're
insurance.
No, I just misunderstood. I thought it was our insurance.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
That's
our
what I
insurance.
thought as well.
Yeah, I thought it was
It
our
wasn't.
insurance, and then why wasn't the tow truck company making us whole?
Otherwise, people would
Okay.
be in accidents every day with 20-year-old vehicles. You get a
Yes.
brand new one.
Yes.
All right, so we're looking for a motion for approval or denial of the tram replacement.
No, I have one comment.
Well,
So
Unless-
which rapper was this?
I don't think it was even wrapped yet.
Oh, it wasn't?
Oh, okay.
It's the older one.
Because the insurance would have taken that into account, probably.
Probably.
I'll make a motion to approve Resolution 47, 2026.
Second.
Resolution,
Oh, sorry. You gotta read the whole thing.
a resolution of the City Commission, the City of Stuart, Florida, authorizing a budget amendment number 3 to the 2025-2026 fiscal year budget, appropriating and authorizing the expenditure funds for tram replacement due to an accident of a previous tram that was deemed a total loss by the insurer, providing an effective date and for other purposes.
Second.
So we have a motion for approval of resolution number 47, 2026 by Commissioner Giobi and seconded by Commissioner Clark. Are there any public comments regarding this motion? Seeing none, Mary, roll call?
Commissioner Rich?
Yes.
Mayor Reed?
Yes.
Commissioner Clark?
Yes.
Commissioner Giobi?
Yes.
Motion passes unanimously. Seeing no further discussion from us up here as elected officials, I'm going to adjourn this meeting. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor.